This freaking store. One of the craziest stores in our retail chain. In all the stores across the country, this is one of the most dangerous. Colleagues that worked with me at this store or followed me after this store or worked before me at this store, we could all attest to it. Some of the craziest things that ever happened to us happened at this building right here. Near-death experiences, chases across the parking lot, tackles in the Little King parking lot, tackles in the bank parking lot, tackles across the street over there, tackles at the McDonald's behind us, tackles at the retailer behind us, tackles at a commercial store a block away where we got in a customer's car and chased them. That's how crazy we used to get back in the day, and that's how crazy we got at this store. So many memories, including today's story. A gentleman that gave me a run for my money, a gentleman that threatened a gun, a gentleman that scared all my teammates, and a gentleman that brought out the psycho laugh. Not only that, but this story involves the hill from hell. I'll tell you all about it. Here we go. Hey, it's George with Silverhammer Surveillance. Today's tale, I'm on location. One of the craziest stores I ever worked at. The colleagues that worked with me at the retailer I did would attest to the same thing. Near-death experiences, craziest runs, craziest tackles, craziest fights, craziest everything happened at this store. Today's story is no exception. So, I'm watching this guy in electronics, jacket, duffel bag, loading up everything he could find. CDs, video games, DVD box sets, loading up, but loading up very quickly. So normally I would have time to get some people in my office, kind of a gang to go out and stop him, have some backup. But he was going so quick, I didn't have time in this case. So I knew I was going to have to act fast. So he goes to leave almost immediately, just loading, and then gone. I go to stop him, and that's where things get crazy. He started to fight immediately. Now, you'd go to stop people, and you just never knew what was going to happen. Sometimes they were going to be peaceful. I had one lady just start to scream that she's peeing. I'm peeing, I'm peeing. I just scared her so much just from jumping out. She started screaming that, and I could see her pants fill up. But you just never knew what was going to happen. Peaceful, come right back in. I'm peeing. Just the, oh shit, you got me look. Or sometimes they'd fight, or sometimes they would run. In this case, this guy just started fighting. So I'm starting to fight him, and things are getting a little hectic. People don't realize when you're in a fight like that, it's not like you see in the movies. It's not choreographed punches and all these cool moves. No, it's a knockdown, drag-out fight. You're rolling around, you're throwing punches, you're doing all this stuff. You're just trying to get them handcuffed, but sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. So in the midst of this fight, we're getting pretty intimate. I'm feeling all sorts of things I don't want to feel, but I'm getting pretty intimate with this guy. No choice of my own, but just because we're rolling around. So I kind of had the sense of everything that was on his body. And unfortunately, I mean everything. But what I'm getting at is I knew he didn't have a weapon. So anyway, that just made me want to keep fighting and so I could get him handcuffed. So a lot of times, if we didn't have help to begin with, the store will call a red service. And that means somebody saw me outside, we're in trouble. Anybody that's 18 and willing will come outside and help us out. So that was the case here. A red service was called. People started to come out and help me. Now, because he was kind of intense and he was pretty violent, nobody directly wanted to get involved, so they kind of just surrounded me. So he was fighting me, and this is where the hill from doom, from hell, comes into play. The hill of doom, I should say. That's where this comes into play, because he's fighting me. He'll get away from me for a second. He's fighting me. He'll get away from me for a second, but he's trying to get up that hill, because what shoplifters did at this particular store is they'd have a freaking car waiting up there, because you saw in the video, there's a neighborhood up there and they can just take off in their car, and they'll have a getaway driver, or they'll just make it to the car themselves and they'll get out of here in that neighborhood and we'll lose them. So that's where he's trying to go. He had a car at the top of that hill. So I'm fighting him and I'm fighting him, and he's getting away from me for a second, and he gets to the top of the hill, and all the people out there helping me in the red service are just kind of surrounding us at this point. Now, because he sees everybody kind of coming in close to him, he says, I have a gun, I have a gun. And so, I kind of perfected a look over the years where I would go to stop, let's say 5 guys twice my size or a big crowd of people that stole together. And I kind of perfected this look where I would stare through their soul. I would make them think no matter how many of them there were, I could take them. Now, when that didn't work, I had what I called the psycho laugh. When they said the most threatening thing to me, or they did the most threatening thing to me, I would do that laugh to make them think I'm freaking nuts. And I'm telling you, no matter how many of them I was up against, I could be crying for my mom on the inside, but on the outside, they thought I was nuts and they weren't going to mess with me. So between the look and the psycho laugh worked for me like a charm. So this guy yells that he has a gun, and I let out the psycho laugh because I know he doesn't. And everybody around me thinks, oh my God, George is freaking crazy. Well, because of the psycho laugh, so does the shoplifter, and he just stops fighting. So I get him handcuffed. By that time, the police had responded to the red service. They come and grab him. Happy ending. I got him. No one was hurt. People in the red service didn't have to get involved. But now, after that, I had to deal with the repercussions from the psycho laugh. I promise you, I think some people quit their job because of me and the psycho laugh. They thought I was nuts. They thought I was the one securing the place. No, it was just a defense mechanism against these crazy people. And I'm telling you, it worked, and it worked in this case. So, to sum up the story, we had the Hill of Doom, or the Hill from Hell. We had a fighter. We had very intimate moments in a fight that I care not to remember. Flashbacks are horrible. We had the psycho laugh, and we had a happy ending. So I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. There's many more stories to come. If you're a loss prevention professional across the world, really, and you have a story to share, please find a way to send it to me. I'd love to share it. So until next time, peace and love.